it was very clear that we needed to do that. This was what we needed to do. But there were a lot of things that felt risky about it, okay? Hello friends, welcome to That Restful Life. My name is Clarinda. Welcome. Grab your cuppa and let's have a conversation. This year, the theme I think for our family is rest, because we literally packed up our stuff, pulled some kids out of school, and changed our life rhythms and came into a very quiet place so that we can respond to what we felt God was speaking to us this year, to come away and rest. Some decisions are easy to make and others are harder to make. Now, it was very clear that we needed to do that. This was what we needed to do. But there were a lot of things that felt risky about it. One of it was that our oldest is doing matric this year, his final year of high school. Okay, we pulled that guy out of school. It was crazy. I was so concerned about so many things. His sense of tightness in the school, he loved his teachers, his peers, and all the things that he would be missing out on in his final year because of this decision. Matric farewells, last bells, my goodness. And that was very, very hard to do. Also very, very difficult for him. But I want to thank God that he had made it very clear. And so we had to step out in faith. We were so blessed by the support of the school that he was in. I'm forever grateful for that. My daughter also doing well at school, enjoying settling in. She was there last year and we had to pull people out. I think my youngest was the only one who was just like, yay, everybody's coming home, everybody's coming home. I'm saying this because although what needed to be done was clear, there were some risks and unknown that we were definitely stepping into the unknown. What if we're making a big mistake? Yeah? Why don't we stay with what we are sure of and secure in and what's working? Why are we trying to change things when we don't know what the outcome will be? And maybe we should postpone this. Maybe we should do this another time. It is never seems like an ideal situation when a big decision needs to be made. It never feels like you can tick all the boxes. It never feels like a convenient time to stop and slow down and listen and respond to what is bubbling up as a conviction in your heart. It never feels like it's an appropriate time. And I think that's why it takes just faith to step into the unknown. And whilst you're making that decision, I remember that we had to think about what our hope is. What are we hoping that is bigger than what we don't know, right? What are we hoping for? It was kind of the same when we decided to homeschool in the first place. It was like, oh my goodness, we're gonna just mess up our children. It's gonna be terrible. Oh my goodness. But we were hoping for something. We were clear that we were hoping for something, and that propelled us into just going for it and trusting God was bigger than the things that we cannot see. But in this video, I want to share with you and encourage you that if you are in a season of a big decision, decisions have consequences. And sometimes we cannot guarantee what the outcome can be. But in front of us, we can be clear about what we are leaning into and trusting for. We were trusting for a couple of things when we made this decision of, people are stopping work. I had to pause my business, people. I had to pause my business. Like, who does that? I was like, Lord, if I come back, I don't know if I'm going to have a business when I come back. But there were a couple of things we were trusting for, and I want to share those things with you because God is gracious and kind. He has far exceeded our expectations. The first thing we were trusting God for was just good old-fashioned rest, okay? Rest, detox from all that noise. Oh my goodness. All that noise, and I promise you, the noise is not outside. The noise is very much inside your own head, and all the things that you've accumulated, whether it is just the noise of demands and expectations, and sometimes it's the noise of unresolved emotional stuff, things that have happened that you haven't unpacked and let go of, right? That can be pretty noisy. And the noise can also be the demands around you, the hurry up and get this done demands that just never want to stop, right? So we were trusting to really quieten the noise. The second thing we were trusting for was intimacy and connection as a family. Just a time for us to rediscover just enjoying being together as a family, because life gets really busy. Life is busy. And I know that as I'm saying this, you're thinking, man, I don't think we don't have the ability to just stop and go away somewhere, right? But I'm not sharing this as a you have to remove yourself. I'm sharing this as an encouragement that there is a decision that we all need to make to move us towards the life we truly want to live, rather than the one that happens accidentally, that happens to us. The second thing was that intimacy and the reconnection, both in our relationship with God and with one another. That was the second thing we were trusting for. And I even imagined that for my son's matric year, what would be the biggest impact of this year? Would it be being with his peers, yes, in the school that he loves, or would it be him having uninterrupted time with his father? And it was just that weighing up of values. What do I value the most? What do we value as a family the most? And that was clear to us that we do value intimacy and connection, intimacy with God and our connection. And so that became quite clear that yes, this decision needed to be made. The third reason was that there was a sense that we couldn't carry on going about things the way that we were. We needed to have a kind of a realignment take place in terms of what we are called to and what are the priorities that God has for us as a family. It has been a time of listening and tuning into and rediscovering again, hey, these are the things that God has put in our hearts. These are the things that are important to us. We were trusting God for restoration and realigning us to his purposes. And you may be asking, man, but why all the drama to do that? Why don't you just do that while you're sitting at home? Yes, you can do that. But it requires a decision to either physically step away from the things that distract you from doing this, or taking that necessary bold step to step away and pause. And this was as a response to what God had spoken to us about. We didn't come up with it by ourselves, but I am so grateful. I am so grateful that we took this step, because we have been reclaiming something that was slipping out of our hands. And so I think my encouragement for this video is just to you, that you may be at like the tipping point of a big decision, and you want to make it, but you're looking around you and nobody seems to be flowing in that rhythm, right? You want the masses to follow you into that decision. You want the affirmation, the acknowledgement, and the yes from the people around you that you should do it. But I want to encourage you to trust God in it and take that step. Okay, I want to obviously pray, chat to people that you love and trust about this decision. But I also want to go for the small decisions, the small daily decisions that we make, right? To value certain things, to live according to our values, to live in connection and intimacy with God and with the people most around us, to prioritize that, to live in line with our purpose rather than the needs and demands around us. Like, it takes these small little daily decisions. And it could be as simple as, hey, I am going to read more. So I'm going to set up time in my day and in my life to read more rather than scroll so much on social media. Maybe you're going to take a look at, hey, me and my husband are going to just take a walk for 10 minutes around the block. Like, you have to stop and ask yourself, what do I value the most, and what decisions am I willing to make in the direction of the things that I value. I really am grateful for the decision and its implications for our family, that this is setting us into the right direction, and we're going to have to keep on living this way when the sabbatical period is actually over in its practical sense, when we move back into our home, when all that jazz is happening and we are in normal rhythms. We are going to have to live as a people who live restfully, who respond to a call to come away, leave the noise, leave your rhythms, leave your familiar, and come away with where God is leading you. For some of you, it may be like next year you've been thinking about homeschooling, and maybe you're going to homeschool next year. At least ask. For some of you, it may be that you have to let go of certain things that have been like past their due date in your life, right?